countries access it, all right, if they want to. That should be your first. That should be your first thing, Malik, Anna, Kevin.
Can somebody else facilitate these meetings, please? 'Cause I'm
Anyway,
trying.
I'll talk to. Oh, Deb, well done. See,
See,
this is why
Deb,
Deb.
Deb, all right. Listen, I'm gonna give you the passwords. You can pay this bill too.
So, Deb, you can extend this Zoom meeting also to the guys in Early to Die and whoever, and they can join in. I know Di always wanted to come and join our meetings that we used to have in Early Beach when I was living there, but you know what the nature of transformation is like. You say you want to do something for 50 years, and then all of a sudden you get around to it, and it's not available anymore. So, anyway. Um, So today we've done our housekeeping. Was that anything else, Tina?
I'm working on the database. No, okay, nobody reached out to me. Gay did this morning. So the few people that are here, why y'all ain't
Well,
contacting me?
David's in Vietnam and he's reached out
Okay.
to me. I've got his
So,
details, so we've got
so,
the Asian connection happening there.
so you're taking care. You're taking care of New Zealand and Australia. You taking care of Asia as well?
Yeah, Australasia, all that
Okay, you
whole
got
that.
Okay. So David, I ain't mad at you.
So
Holler.
let's just talk about the database for a second, right?
Okay.
So the disciples. This is kind of how I see it in my mind. And if you have anyone has anything to add, feel free. But in the Bible, when you read the Acts of the Disciples, they go to Greece, they go to Mesopotamia, they go to bloomin' everywhere, right? And they meet with people who are compassionately friendly towards the teachings of Jesus, people that have sort of crossed his path, know of him, know the story, whatever. And Jesus says, stay with whoever will have you. And if they won't have you, dust off your feet and move on, right? That's basically, I may be skipping a few parables there, but right. So, but they built this kind of network, right? The disciples, and it becomes the church of whatever, and the church of this and the church of that, right? In the Bible. Now, you could say if you're reading the Aramaic Bible, it's like, well, they probably didn't set up any actual churches. It was just what it was called. And I don't know what the Aramaic for the word church would be, but church is obviously a very Anglo kind of term for an association. But those guys were all kind of underground, right? They were actively looking for Jesus's disciples. I know what you're going to say, Tina. I know exactly what you're going to say.
No,
Disappearance of
you
the universe.
don't. No, you don't.
Oh,
I
go on
got, I
then.
got, I
Say it.
got that. I got that. I got that as an email. That Jesus Underground. That's
Right,
it.
exactly.
But it's the email. It's
Exactly.
the email that for the stuff. Okay,
Well,
I'm excited.
that's this whole thing, right? So there used to be a database when Ted was around. We had a database. We started compiling it in Byron Bay, and there was about 60 names, addresses, and whatever on that list. So if you went anywhere in Australia, New Zealand, whatever, you would know that you could just knock on the door, and you would be let in. My house is your house, me casa, su casa, right? So, and it was an incredibly useful thing because in those days, me personally and other guys, but me personally, I used to travel around the country with boxes of 20-minute books, and I would go to things like 12-step meetings, which, AA doesn't align with any other practice, but you would go there because there would be people from other modalities. And I would hand out those books, and people would sort of say, can you put me on the list? Because I'd love to have people come visit, drop books off, and, we can talk about the course and whatever. Because there is no resource as an official kind of thing where people can just go along somewhere. It's like there are no churches in this. There's no, if you look at David Hoffmeister's work, he's setting up these living monasteries or whatever he calls them, sort of thing. But, and I've heard different things all about those, but that's in America, and in Europe and places like that. But I'm talking about just a more down home sort of, hey, here's my living room. Would you like to come for dinner? And, we've got a bed for the night if you need it and you're traveling. And when Rosie and I had Avatar up in North Queensland, just around the corner from Deb, unbeknownst to me and Deb, we would have people come and stay for anywhere from like a weekend to 3 months, to even Alana came and she stayed for almost 4 years, I think. She even bought a caravan and moved it onto the property, but she was slightly different. She had 2 broken legs when she showed up from a bad motorcycle accident, so we did a physical rehabilitation for her as well. And but there was people that stayed for all sort of indeterminate amounts of time, and Alana actually went through the whole workbook of the course while she was there. Right? And it was a big thing for her. It totally changed her life. She was suicidal. She didn't want to live. Her legs were just mangled. But for whatever reason, so the resource of the list that we're compiling is to support those who support others, really. Right? Stan used to come about once a year and he'd stay for about a month. But he used to go around the country and he had a little network of his own people. He'd go around the country and he'd see people and he'd do Course in Miracles stuff with them, and he used to develop exercises and like mental exercises and workshops and stuff. And it was a pleasure to have him. You know, he'd turn up and he'd always be doing something new and some kind of other thing. And it was always relative to the principles of the course to help people integrate it better, which is like the Zen thing that I've given you to do. You know, when you see it, you're going to slap your forehead. You're going to be like, oh my God, how did I not see that straight away? Right, exactly. But because Zen's like that. It's not this and it's not that. If you can say what it is, you're wrong. You know? The idea of Zen really is that there's no such thing as Zen. But you got to get to that point through your own mechanics. It's not, you know, having the concept is nothing. So anyway, we're going to develop the database again. When Ted left his body, he and I had a little bit of back and forth from time to time about the Finding Me website, which used to be the Thetford Foundation website that Christopher and Adele set up, right? When Adele passed, Christopher handed the Thetford Foundation to me, and the website, I redeveloped the website as Finding Me, which was another initiative that came out of whatever we were doing at the time, Christopher and I together. And then when Ted passed, all the input that I was getting for the website and everything in the database sort of got put on hold and nothing happened to it for a couple of years. And so eventually I just didn't renew the thing. And people stopped logging in. Like, it had a login where you could log in, look at the database and think, oh, I'm going to this city. I'll see if there's anybody in that city I can catch up with, you know. So all of that got sort of lost. So we're starting the database again. One of the instrumental things on the database is that nobody charges money for anything. Right? It's a total give. If someone comes to your house, you don't put your hand out for money for them. They're your brother. It's like it's an opportunity for you to be in total give to whoever shows up, as an idea of being of service to the Christ, you know. And I always say Jesus pays the bills, but it's a big energy to live in faith in such a way where when somebody asks of you, you think nothing in return. Okay? It's just yes, not yes, but can you help me, blah, 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 or not yes, but that's going to cost money. Just yes. And then let the universe direct how it is that yes transpires, right? It's like you were saying to me, Tyna, you know, like about getting help and stuff like that. It's like, well, you are the help. And in saying yes to being of service, it is going to bring up all of that stuff, because that's the purpose of it. Okay? The purpose of saying yes to Jesus is part and parcel of the process of purification. It's not so you can be gratified in the world or have things look a certain way that you think spiritual might meant to be look like or something. It's so you can heal. Right? What happens beyond that, beyond your own personal atonement, don't be concerned about it. It's like, there should be no attachment to results, no attachment to outcome, all that sort of stuff. And you'll see where there is, right? Saying yes to God, you'll see where there is an attachment to an outcome. And that's all of us across the board, myself included. I used to get really, really upset, like initially, how come guys wouldn't show up to do their service jobs, and be like, I realized, well, it's up to me. I see that it needs to be done. It's up to me. And I don't know how to do all these service jobs. I'm just going to be miracle minded about it. And in that, it would flow. Everything would flow. You just start at the start, and the next thing you know, it's happening, and like you would vacuum. I would vacuum that session room almost every day. Almost every day. Occasionally one of the brothers would show up to do the vacuuming on their shift, whatever. But there was a whole service board and everybody's name was on it with a job to do to get that center looking beautiful and shiny and clean and whatever. And everybody liked the job, like pick some flowers from the garden and put on the little table next to Ted's chair, right? He was the master teacher. So it's like everybody wants to be seen to be, devoted to the master teacher. But clean the toilets? Get the hell out of here. What do you think? So I would clean the toilets nearly every day, right? Because I want my brothers to put their bum on a clean toilet when they sit down on that throne. It's like even that is holy, Everything is holy. Everything is an act of devotion, and everything is sacred. And it's going to bring up everything in me about being of service to my brothers. There's no specialness. There's nothing in it there's nothing above my pay grade, put it that way. So, anyway, today I wanted to do the first 12 lessons from the reviews before we go on to anything else.
You asked me to remind you something as well. So,
what was the reminder?
do you want it to talk to Natasha and Claire? I mean, it sounds like housekeeping stuff still. So do you want to revisit that later? I just wanted to remind you because you asked me to.
Okay. What was I going to talk to Natasha and Claire about?
I don't know. I mean, it was housekeeping stuff. You said, remind me to tell them, want them to be part of this database thing. So, I mean, but
maybe for in England or something.
yeah, and that's me. We'll chat.
Yeah, you can talk
Yeah,
to
but
Natasha and Claire.
I thought you had something specific. You told me to remind you, so I wanted to. Natasha and Claire.
They're in already. I know they're in.
I know. I mean, so
Look at those
all
smiley
right,
faces.
that's it.
So anyway,
That's
all
it.
right, cool. So let's go to, where is my book? Oh, I left it upstairs. All right, so the reviews of the first 50 lessons. Anna, if you could do 1 to 3. And I think too, Tina, just while we're on that, just before we start this, if you and Anna can sort of collaborate a bit back and forth, East Coast, West Coast in America, because you're such a big country, and maybe Anna can sort of do some sort of arrangement with a database for the, like, East Coast, because you do have a lot of on your plate there. All right, let's go.
Nothing
Hey,
I
Anna.
see. Nothing
Anna. Anna,
Yeah.
hello.
Okay. Nothing I see means anything. The reason this is so is that I see nothing. and nothing has no meaning. It is necessary that I recognize this, that I may learn to see. What I think I see now is taking the place of vision. I must let it go. I must let it go by realizing it has no meaning, so that vision may take its place. I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me. I have judged everything I look upon.
Hang on for a second. Monique, are you cool? You're with it? I thought you might be looking for the lessons there where she's at. So, no, that's good. We'll talk in a minute. Okay, keep going, Anna. Start from 2 again.
I have judged everything I look upon, and it is this and only this I see. This is not vision. It is merely an illusion of reality, because my judgments have been made quite apart from reality. I am willing to recognize the lack of validity in my judgments.
Breathe.
I am willing to recognize the lack of validity in my judgments, because I want to see. My judgments have hurt me, and I do not want to see according to them.
One more. Good. Close your eyes for a second. Take a few deep breaths. Slowly in, slowly out. Control your breathing. Here I am, Lord. Make that connection. It's just energy, remember. Dark light, if you want to call it dark light, impacted associations of denial. Impacted, compacted, compressed, depressed. Put it however you want. All right, when you're ready.
I do not understand anything I see. How could I understand what I see when I have judged it amiss? What I see is the projection of my own errors of thought. I do not understand what I see. I do not understand what I see because it is not understandable. There is no sense in trying to understand it, but there is every reason to let it go and make room for what can be seen and understood and loved. I can exchange what I see now for this merely by being willing to do so.
Right. Not just a better choice than the one I made before.
Is not this a better choice than the one I made before?
Right. It is not understandable. It is not understandable. But how easily do I convince myself that I understand it? Without even having to think about it, I think I understand stuff. I look out there at this person and that situation and these events, and I think I understand. I turn on my television and I tell myself that I understand what's going on. It's not understandable because it's an illusion. It's not real. It's the habituation. It's that repetitive kind of association with it that gives it the credibility of reality in your mind. You know, I was watching that little thing. I put out a video yonks ago for the Suicide and Spirituality Project, and there's a little clip there of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he's talking about the synapses in the mind, right, in the brain. So when you have a similar occurrence in your life, you commit it to memory through the activation of those synapse responses, which records it and makes it, and they become stronger. Right, those synapses that fire together, wire together, fire together, or something he was saying, right? So it's repetition. It's like a habit, and you commit everything to memory, and you think that it is the way it is, and it becomes so concrete in your thinking that when you open your eyes and you look at the world, you think you understand something about it. But the foundation for the world is false. So everything you think you understand about it is understood in falsity. The world is nothing more than a projection. It's nothing more than a classroom. It's nothing more than an orientation that reflects initially the sleep of the mind, and through the efforts that we put in, the awakening of the mind. And the reason it exists in witness, in form, is so you can see and witness to the nature of the transformation in your own experience. If you couldn't track it, if you couldn't see the experience of your life changing for the better, changing for holiness as you went along, what would be the point of your efforts? You wouldn't know if you were achieving anything or not. Your relationships wouldn't change, nothing would change. You have to be able to witness to it and be able to recognize it for yourself that something is occurring, that you're actually part of a higher thing going on, which includes you, involves you, and from a personal sense, put your finger on your nose, is all about you, because you are the dreamer of your dream, not you the avatar, you the Christ mind using that avatar to facilitate whatever needs to occur in the transformative process. Right? And you're going to get it wrong, 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 until you get it right. A lesson repeats until it's learned. And every time you read one of these little reminders or reviews, it's going to bring up all that stuff in you. Right? Let's say you have a big argument with someone, just as an example. Let's say you have a big argument with someone just before you come on the Zoom, and then you read Nothing I See Means Anything, and you realize all of a sudden, oh man, I gave that all the meaning it had for me, that argument. Look at the state it put me in, right? And then you keep reading, and it's like, what I think I see, it's not understandable. But I think I understood it, which is why I defended myself and perpetuated the argument. Two dogs pulling on a rope. Right? Both dogs want to win the game. They want to win the rope, pull on the rope game. It doesn't ever stop until one dog drops the rope. One dog gets tired of it. And then the other dog runs away with the rope and drops it somewhere, you know, and like, haha, I won. Big deal. Are you sick of the game yet? Right? Attack and defense, attack and defense. That's all the human mind is capable of, because that's how it perpetuates its hold on reality in your own mind. Attack and defense. If I defend myself, I am attacked. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. Those are specific lessons. And as you say yes to walking with Jesus, it's like, well, I'm going to drop that game. But the other dog's going to keep coming to bring you the rope. The other dog's going to show up with the rope again and again and again. Every time you go outside, there's going to be the dog. You know, it's like a dog that wants to throw the ball, and you get sick of throwing the damn ball. It's like, I never should have taught this dog to throw the ball, to fetch the ball. Because now all it does is that. I can't get it to do anything else, right? So, because that's how you trained it. It's funny stuff, right? We're not complicated beings, really. We've got one trick, attack and defense. That's it. It's a one-trick pony, the ego. So, Anna, I'm just going to give you a little assignment. I'm just going to make something up, and you can say yes to it. You can say yes to it or not. It's not any kind of thing. I want you to put on a weekend workshop at your house. Okay? It doesn't have to it doesn't have to be a massive affair. It's about opening up to the invitation. It's about opening up to allowing in whatever energies want to come. Okay, doing it as a workshop or doing it as a high tea afternoon, doing it as whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just about bringing in some new energy. Okay, you can couch it however you want.
Okay.
All right.
I was shown this already.
Right.
Thank you.
I had a feeling. So anyway, I'm just confirming what you've been shown already. I always get the Memo sort of downstream, you know. Monique, can you do the next two, please?
We're on 4, right?
Yeah. Where do you live, by the way?
I live in Southern California, Orange County.
Okay. You're near Tyna somewhere there, I think.
Yeah, we're pretty close, I think.
Okay, cool.
Okay. These thoughts do not mean anything. The thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything, because I am trying to think without God. What I call my thoughts are not my real thoughts. My real thoughts are the thoughts I think with God. I am not aware of them because I have made my thoughts to take their place. I am willing to recognize that my thoughts do not mean anything and to let them go. I choose to have them be replaced by what they were intended to replace. My thoughts are meaningless, but all creation lies in the thoughts I think with God.
Okay. I want you to read that again. Before you read it, I want you to close your eyes. Right, this is boot camp. Close your eyes. Tina will explain to you boot camp after. I got nowhere else to go. It's so funny. All right, close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Now, I'm not picking on you specifically, but I'm going to use you as an example of this for the group, because this is good to remember in all circumstances. Because when we go into different circumstances throughout the day, the tendency is to think that they're actually different situations, different people, different whatever. Okay? We just think this is different to that. And the whole purpose of this course is to get you to realize the sameness of everything, how it's all the same wherever you go. It's your mind with you. You take your own mind with you wherever you go. Right? one of the things that happens that we overtrain ourselves to do as, let's say, human beings, right? We're just going to keep it very street level for a second, not too spiritual, is to assume that we know, and like Anna just read, that we understand what we're reading. Anyone who's done that workbook a couple of times will tell you the second time round they did it, it hit a whole nother level of comprehension in their mind. Okay, and it has to do with integrity, it has to do with focus, it has to do with putting yourself into the reading. And this is something that not many other teachers will call you out on or whatever, but this is what I'm giving to you now was given to me by my very first course teacher, Greta, this Dutch woman, and she was in my face about it all the time, right? And I'm great. Like at the time, I remember being quite embarrassed about it, right? And I felt a certain way about it because everyone was looking at me, and there was 150 people in the room, you know, and I seemed to be like her little pet project. But when you read something, and I'm just going to keep this general, when you read something, people read things like they're reading a magazine at the train station, waiting for the train. Hey, Noah. Right? Hey, Max says Max. I didn't notice Max tuned in.
A little bit late.
People read things like they're reading a magazine at the train station, filling in time. Okay? Rather than reading it because it's their doctoral dissertation on something and they've got to present it tomorrow. Does that make sense? So if you had to study for a test tomorrow or you had to present something tomorrow, you would really read it so that you understood the mechanics and the fundamentals of what you were reading at a level that was more than just the superficial level where you think it relates to in this moment, here and now, as in reading something in a round robin in a Zoom room. Okay? What happens when you focus more, what happens when you give it more value, is it resonates more fully. Everything is a frequency. Everything is a frequency. Everything is light, particle, and wave. In our minds, we break it down into form associations. We break it down into relationships, cause and effect. And we've become very, very good at deciding what kind of effects that we like to get and what kind of effects we don't like to get, to the point where we don't even realize that we're defending ourselves. It just becomes who we are. And then all of a sudden one day we reach middle age and we're like, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep sabotaging all my own best interests? It's because certain activities in the mind have been put into play as a way of managing and understanding way back, many lifetimes ago back perhaps, that still are current. And they hide in unawareness, right? So when Jesus says, seek for the blocks and find them, those blocks are mental. Those blocks are attitudes towards self and life. Okay? But they show up all the time, but we're not aware they show up all the time because we think we've got it all together and we're well adjusted and all the rest of it, right? One of the things he says in the course is by the time you reach sort of middle age, you feel that you can meet the world on equal terms. I don't think that's his exact words, but something like that. And it's not true. All that you've done is become better at adjusting to your pain, right? So when Anna read those first three lessons, right, it became obvious in her the conflict between how Christ mind, Jesus mind, is telling us to see things through the universal curriculum and the way she sees things, right? That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to activate you, and in a certain sense, you have to activate yourself. Okay, the big, and Max, this goes for you too. The big foible, the big mistake that we make when we try to rectify ourselves to this material is that we think it existed for us in the past. Oh, I've read this before. I know this. I've been doing the Course in Miracles for so many years, blah, blah, blah. No, you haven't. There's only this moment. Everything else is just memory, and the tricksy little ego will jump in there and try to sew the past and this moment together as an idea of continuity. And because of that, right, there is nothing happening that is new. You don't engage with the material in a brand new way, like you've never read it before. What the heck is this I'm reading, right? So when you read this, I want you to try and read it from a place, and you'll see the difference in a second, right? I want you to try and read it from a place where you refuse to listen to that voice in your head that says, oh, I've read this before, or I know this material, or any of that stuff, okay? And try to really focus on not just the words, but the reason that you're reading the words in the first place, which is healing. Okay, so close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, prepare to get emotional. And being emotional in this is perfectly okay, right? If it brings stuff up, that's great. If it doesn't, that's great as well. But the whole purpose of this is to activate yourself. The whole point of the workbook is to bring yourself to a confrontation with your false self so you can make a new choice. And when you're ready, let's read that lesson again. Good.
These thoughts do not mean anything.
Good.
The thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything. Because I am trying to think without God.
Thank you.
What I call my thoughts are not my real thoughts. My real thoughts are the thoughts I think with God. I am not aware of them because I have made my thoughts to take their place. I am willing to recognize that my thoughts do not mean anything and to let them go. I choose to have them be replaced by what they were intended to replace. My thoughts are meaningless, but all creation lies in the thoughts I think with God.
Good. You know what you just did right then? You read from the heart. That is the Holy Spirit. That is the spirit of wholeness. You included yourself into what you read rather than just repeating words on a page. And that's how it made you feel. Right? Feeling, being real and authentic, all of that sort of stuff. Max, your turn. Don't get stage fright now. You got a big act to follow here. Monique's just totally blitzed it.
That's right. Okay, number 5.
Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Father, here I am. Help me to feel these words. Help me to really connect to these words. This is salvation. This is his son in you awakening. And when you're ready, Deb, you're next.
I am never upset for the reason I think.
Good.
I am never upset for the reason I think because I am constantly trying to justify my thoughts.
Thank you.
I am constantly trying to make them true. I make all things my enemies so that my anger is justified and my attacks are warranted. I have not realized how much I have misused everything I see by assigning this role to it. I have done this to defend a thought system that has hurt me and that I no longer want. I am willing to let it go.
Do the next one. I am upset because I see what is not there. Reality is never frightening. It is impossible that it could upset me. Reality brings only perfect peace. Yes.
When I am upset, it is always because I have replaced reality with illusions I made up. When I am upset, it is always because I have replaced reality with illusions I have made up. The illusions are upsetting because I have given them reality, and thus regard reality as an illusion. Nothing in God's creation is affected in any way by this confusion of mine. I am always upset by nothing.
Good. Close your eyes for a second and just sit with that you're always upset by nothing. That's going to be pivotal for you, Max. For the next few months, that's going to be pivotal for you. It's going to be the theme of a recurring lesson that's going to show up for you again and again and again. And I want you to stay in the energy that you're feeling now when it shows up. Okay? Everyone's transformation is slightly different. It's the same principle in play, but the mechanics or the play out of it is slightly different. Friends, family, relationships, whatever. We all go through the same particulars, but the nuances that present through individual identities and personalities, it's as different from one person as another, from one culture to another. Right? But it's an illusion of differences. You're going to find stuff that shows up for you through your social group, through your network, through your association with friends and family in the next few months that I won't understand. Which is why that lesson is going to be important to you, because that lesson is universal. Okay. Deb, next one. Take a breath. Connect. Jennifer, you're next. You've got your microphone muted.
I see only the past. As I look about.
No, stop. Close your eyes. Don't try to read it. You can't try to read it. You have to feel it. Cast your mind back 2,050 years or whatever we are, on the shores of Lake Galilee. You stood watching with two children as a group of men cast nets from boats, hauled in their harvest, and were guided by one of their own to throw their nets over the other side of the boat. You were there, you stood there, you watched, aware that something incredible was unfolding in that simple display, in that simple picturing. Something incredible was happening. And you were part of it. You were a witness to it. This moment is that moment. But now you are the incredible thing. You are in that net. You are included. You have been caught. And you're being pulled up into the boat. Try and feel that. Visualize it in your mind's eye. From the soup of human consciousness, from the hustle and bustle and the mess and the chaos of conscious life, you're being pulled up, redeemed, in service to the whole. And now in your mind's eye, I want you to look up and see who it is that is looking down at you. Loving eyes, warm smile, and a welcoming heart. Feel it. Right. You're included, Deb. Welcome home. Don't defend yourself against feeling a certain way about it. You're included. You're part of the team. You're in the boat. You are loved. And you are loving. Now read it.
I see only the past. As I look about, I condemn the world I look upon. I call this seeing. I hold the past against everyone and everything, making them my enemies. When I have forgiven myself and remembered who I am, I will bless everyone and everything I see. There will be no past, and therefore no enemies.
Keep reading.
And I will look with God on all that I failed to see before.
Read that last sentence again.
And I will look with God on all that I failed to see before.
Take a breath and read it one more time.
And I will look with God on all that I failed to see before.
Good. There you are. Yes. Is Carl away at camp?
Yeah.
That last line, when he comes home, apply it to the first moment you see him. Consciously apply it. Prepare yourself for it. Worry about it if you have to. Throw it around in your mind, in your mind's eye. I love you. Jennifer, can you read the next one, please? And then David. And then Tina.
My mind.
Asha.
My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see only my own thoughts, and my mind is preoccupied with the past. What then can I see as it is?
Yes.
Let me remember that I look on the past to prevent the present from dawning on my mind.
Start again. Take a breath, start again. Feel it deeper. I know you're connecting with the material. I want you to go deeper. Commit to it totally.
My mind is preoccupied with
Yes.
past thoughts.
Yes.
I see only my own thoughts. And my mind is preoccupied with the past. What then can I see as it is? Let me remember. Let me remember that I look on the past to prevent. I have no idea what it is. That just started all by itself. Apologize. Let me remember that I look on the past to prevent the present from dawning on my mind. Let me understand that I am trying to use time against God. Let me learn to give the past away, realizing that in so doing, I am giving up nothing.
There's an afterglow to reading these lessons. When you bang on a gong or a bell, there's the initial noise, the initial strike, the initial tone. And then you hear the ringing for a little while after, and it fades away. These lessons are the same thing. There's a resonance to them. When you read them, they're almost like music in your heart. They have an impact. There's that initial confrontation between the two ways of seeing, and the mind reconciling itself to the new material. And then there's a feeling that goes along with that sits there for a moment, like the echo of the bell or the gong, until it fades away. That's the gift that these lessons bring. That's the gift the universal curriculum has sown within its pages, within the words, is this resonance, this frequency. The mind doesn't understand it, but to the heart, it's music. It's literally the key that is unlocking the process on a cellular level. That is what awakening is about. The Christ in you knows perfectly well what this means. The Christ in you knows perfectly well the resonance of the lesson. Not the words, not the concepts. The Christ in you needs no words, no concepts, no healing. But it is reminded of the true nature of communication by the resonance that these lessons have in you, which is why it's important to connect with them at that heartfelt level. When you see that truly, when you see that correctly and properly, and you're activated by it, it transfers to everyone and everything. Everyone and everything in life is part of God's call to you to awaken. But the mind jumps in and says, oh, I'm just going down the shop for a bottle of milk. Are you? Are you really just going to the shop for a bottle of milk? I don't believe that for 1 minute. I know that you're going down to the shop so that when you go to the checkout and someone says that'll be $1.95, you're going to let that whatever that is said into your heart, and you're going to feel it. You're going to feel that message that that's $1.95, and you're going to transmute that to what it really is, the voice for God calling you home. It's got nothing to do with $1.95. It's got nothing to do with the milk. It's got everything to do with that relationship between you and that person playing that part for you. That person that stands there every day doing the same thing, having the same 5-second conversations with every other person. What are you feeling in that message? Is there joy in that? That'll be $1.95, please. Or is there imprisonment? What am I feeling here in this conversation? Oh, I feel sorry for this person doing the same shit job every day. Whatever that is you feel it. And you own it. And then when you own it, through you comes something else, because you're owning it for love. You're owning it for the Holy Spirit. You're owning it for the Spirit of wholeness, so that you can make a difference in all your relationships and see that difference reflected back at you. The other week I was up at my supermarket, and the woman behind the counter gave me the same line she gives everybody: do you have a rewards card? And I didn't have a rewards card. I knew I didn't have a rewards card. But that wasn't truly what she was asking me. Because in my mind, I'm sitting there in judgment of what a rewards card is, and this poor woman has to ask everybody about the damn rewards card. And I owned it. And I said to her, your smile is my reward enough. And she smiled, a big smile, and rang through my order. And then I went out. That was that moment. Just a little bit of light in the dream. Just a little bit of out of the sequence, you know, something different. It doesn't have to be massive trumpets from heaven. Just something corny. And that's okay. Claire and Natasha, can you read the next two, please? One each. Oh, did I? Hang on. No, I think David was going to read one. Yep, David, can you read one? And then Claire and Natasha. I'm getting ahead here. Your microphone's muted.
Okay. And what would you like me to read? I don't have that booklet, Dave.
Oh, have you got your course book there?
I have a course book here. The
Okay,
white
so
one.
have you got part A and part B?
I do.
Okay,
Yes.
part B.
Okay.
And then go to the lessons. After the
Okay.
50th lesson.
50?
Yep, go to 50 and then you'll find the reviews. 50. After 50, you'll find the reviews.
I got
of
the
first
review.
50.
Okay.
Okay.
You just froze on me. I can't hear you.
Which one are we up to?
We should be in the second bank, right? So the second one in the second bank, right? So it's so you got
I
5,
don't know
6,
what that
7.
means.
Okay, I'll tell you. So count to 9.
Jennifer, which one did you just read?
Yeah, mine reads lesson 52.
Okay.
And it's paragraph 4 with a 9 next to it. Is that?
Got it. All right.
I'm losing my connection.
Thank
Hang on.
Yeah.
They're all frozen. This is my internet connection, so. Hang on. Just give it a second, it'll come back.
Okay.
Fully. All right, go for it, Dave. You're back.
Am I on number 9?
I think.
Okay.
Number 9.
I see nothing as it is now. I see nothing as it is now. It can truly be said that I see nothing. I can see only what is now. The choice is not whether to see the past or the present. It is merely whether to see it or not. What I have chosen to see has cost me vision. Now I would choose again that I may see.
Stop. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. I want you to sit up straight. If you're laying down, there's only one Kevin in bed. Take a breath. Good.
That felt good.
Right. Take another breath. It'll feel better. If you stop taking breaths, it feels shit. Take a few breaths until you feel good about it. Same thing with Deb, creative visualization. You ready? Close your eyes and just use your imagination for a second.
Mm.
Same thing, 2,000 years ago.
Mm.
Okay, you're in a house. It's an adobe style house. There's not much furniture. There's 3 or 4 people sitting around a table talking about a guy called Jesus who they just saw heal a leper. You're listening to them. You'd never heard of Jesus before. What do you mean he just healed a leper? In your own mind, what do you mean? It piques your interest instantly because there's something in you that is absolutely looking for a better way. There's something in you that knows that the world you think you see doesn't really make sense.
Mm.
So there's something in you that's always looking for something out of the ordinary, for that one thing that makes sense of the world. There's a man in your village that healed a leper. And all of a sudden in your heart, you resolve to go and find him. You put down what you're doing and you walk out the door. You leave those people behind and you go out into the sunlight, into the village. The picture fades and now you're back here. You found him.
Mm.
You found that man, and now you walk with him. Try to feel how that is for you.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Right.
Gorgeous.
Yep.
And honored. Thank you. Wow.
Now read it again.
Okay. I lost my place. Hold on.
We've got all the time in the world.
Okay. I see nothing as it is now.
Good.
If I see nothing as it is now, it can truly be said that I see nothing. I can see only what is now. The choice is not whether to see the past or the present. It is merely whether to see or not. What I have chosen to see has cost me vision. Now I would choose again that I may see.
Just close your eyes for a second. Take a breath. Don't adjust to how you're feeling now. Just let that be there. Good. Just stay in it for a second. In modern circles, in contemporary spiritual circles, letting it be there is often referred to as just honoring the space. Just giving it value. Just let yourself sit in it, feel it, and receive what it is that is occurring.
Mm.
One of the lessons in the Course, Jesus says, even if you believe nothing is occurring, because that's never true. Something is always occurring. because there is always either love or a call for love. And somewhere between those two perspectives is the action of healing, and that's what we're involved in. We are what healing is. We're not doing healing or practicing healing. We are healing in the mind of God. We are what healing is. We are the idea, the activated idea of it, because all things are ideas. In God mind dreaming, in God mind sleeping, in God mind creating, which in our world shows up as transformation, we are that. We are the healing.
Mm.
Because what we experience and what we heal within ourselves resonates around the universe. Our thoughts affect the universe in all of its parameters. And the deeper we go within ourselves, the more we allow ourselves to drop into our pain and to drop into our darkness and find those blocks, greater the capacity to not only listen to the voice for God and hear it clearly as our own, I don't even know, as our own what, individual frequency, but also the greater the capacity for us to be able to join in mind, like Deb and I just joined, and have that experience of light communication, true communication. At first, you start to experience that as laughter until you realize where it comes from. But that takes a lot of mind training. It takes a lot of discipline. You have to bring the mind to a state of perfect stillness. Like that. Breathe. All right, Claire and Natasha. You guys can work out who's reading first. Take a deep breath, Monique. You can stay in that state. Yep, go on.
My thoughts do not mean anything. I have no private thoughts.
It's all right, I don't judge.
I have no private thoughts. Yet, it is only private thoughts of which I am aware. What can these thoughts mean? They do not exist. And so they mean nothing.
Rubbish. Stop what you're doing. You can't rationalize it to yourself as you're reading.
No.
That's not reading. I want you to feel it. You can't tell yourself how it is you feel things. You can't decide how to feel. You just have to feel. So close your eyes for a second. Here I am, Lord. I need help. You need help in the same way that the woman at the well needs help. You're tearing off your clothes. You're screaming in anguish. You can't take it anymore. You just can't go on. Find that place. Find that place in you. And let the stranger come and lower the bucket for you. Let it be done for you. Let him come. There is no resilience in salvation. You don't have to be that way anymore. Let yourself be loved. Yes. Natasha, can you read that lesson, please? Claire, just stay in that energy. There's Colin. You've been in my thoughts this week, Colin.
My thoughts do not mean anything.
Good.
I have no private thoughts. Yet it is only private thoughts of which I am aware. What can these thoughts mean? They do not exist, and so they mean nothing. Yet my mind is part of creation and part of its creator. Would I not rather join the thinking of the universe than to obscure all that is really mine with my pitiful and meaningless private thoughts?
Good. Now, the two of you, whatever plans you might have for the rest of the day or the night or whatever's going on, cancel them Claire, Natasha is going to wait on you hand and foot.
Oh.
She's going to wait on you hand and foot, and you are going to let her. Breathe. Where are we at? Malik, can you read the next one, please? Malik is an angel.
I don't know what number we're on. Are we on 11 or?
I think so.
12, 11?
11.
Okay, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world.
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Since the thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything, the world that pictures them can have no meaning. What is producing this world is insane, and so is what it produces. Reality is not insane, and I have real thoughts as well as insane ones. I can therefore see real world. I can therefore see a real world. If I look to my real thoughts as my guide for seeing.
Good. I want you to read the next one, but differently. Number 12. I want you to close your eyes and imagine a child in front of you. And you're going to read this lesson to that child, a child of 6 or 7 years old. A little child just starting to become self-aware, leaving behind that place where everything is sponsored and everything is catered for, and starting to take an interest in the world, that kind of an age group child. See yourself in the role of the mentor. And just feel that for a second before you read the lesson. The child is you. And the lesson is what you as that child wished that you were told back then. Try to find that in your heart space. I'm not wrong when I say that you're an angel.
I am upset because I see a meaningless world. Insane thoughts are upsetting. They produce a world in which there is no order anywhere. Only chaos rules a world that represents chaotic thinking, and chaos has no laws. I cannot live in peace in such a world. I'm grateful that this world is not real and that I need not see it at all unless I choose to value it. And I do not choose to value which is totally insane and has no meaning.
Read that last line again.
And I do not choose to value which is totally insane and has no meaning.
Now close your eyes and repeat that line again.
And I choose not. I gotta forget the line.
You know why you forget the line? Because you're not connecting with the material. Some people, when they read the material, they have trouble reading the words that are on the page, as you do. They put words in, take words out, as you do. Okay, it's not good, it's not bad. It's just part of an association, a light ray association that you are of. If you want to get into the metaphysics of it, I would say that you are probably a red light association, a red ray association, which is next to the yellow ray association, and you're transiting between red to yellow. Yellow is the healer's ray. So the world you're coming from is a world that is inherently violent, inherently corrupt, and you're more aware of it than most people. It's like Tyna, much the same. There's an admission of honesty that goes along with a lot of this, where people come to it from their own angle. Some people's admission of honesty is, yes, I'm an alcoholic. Other people's admission is, yes, I fucking hate this world. Or yes, I hate the situation I'm in. And they feel it, and it brings them to a certain point. I want you to find that certain point in you. It's not going to happen today. But it's going to happen through prayer. Father, help me. Help me to find this place of total honesty where I enter into this. Because you know the material. You are part of this. You've got the whole thing going on. I can tell. But there's a deeper entering in for you. And I would recommend, if you're not already, join Tyna in Brother Gregory's Zoom meetings. And she will organize that. He does a beautiful soft service, and I would like you to be part of that. Because I enjoy your presence here in this Zoom group. You are very, very powerful. But the heart and the mind have to come together. And I'd like to see that happen, and quickly. There's always an urgency to this. Take a few breaths. Kevin in bed. Where do you live? At the North Pole or something? Got mittens on and a coat?
In Melbourne.
Oh, Melbourne, that's right. Is it cold down there in Melbourne today?
That's
You know,
not bad,
Annie's just moved to with brother Mike. I forget what she called it. Some tiny little place. There's only like 50 people live there. All they got is to talk about the weather. All right, can you read the next one?
Yeah, lost where we are.
I think we're on 12 or 13. 13.
13. A meaningless world engenders fear. The totally insane engenders fear because it is completely undependable and offers no grounds for trust. Nothing in madness is dependable. It holds out no safety and no hope. But such a world is not real. I have given it the illusion of reality and have suffered from my belief in it. Now I choose to withdraw this belief and place my trust in reality.
Good.
In choosing this, I will escape all the effects of the world of fear because I am acknowledging that it does not exist.
Good. Monique, when you listen to Kevin reading, what do you feel? Close your eyes for a second. How does it affect you?
I just felt very peaceful.
Good. You can feel that in the frequency, right? It's like I was saying about the woman at the supermarket. There's a frequency to everything. When Kevin reads those lessons, there is a sense of peace in the reading that emanates out. There's not any kind of inability to transmit that lesson from another place of uncertainty or chaos or learning. He's been doing this for a long time. That's to his advantage and both to his disadvantage, because familiarity breeds contempt. Right? That's why I asked you what you feel, because I knew you would honor that and answer me honestly. It's always good. There's like a system of checks and balances that's in place. In Buddhist traditions, checks and balances are usually done through a process of self-reflection. But we're learning in our relationships to be proactive, to be activated, and to not just assume that one thing is like another thing, because familiarity breeds contempt. I want to be vigilant for anything that disturbs my peace of mind. Right? Anything that triggers me, I want to catch it. So in every relationship where I come together with another brother or a situation, I'm watching through the window of the kingdom of heaven, which is my state of inner peace. Is there anything blurry on the window in that reading with Kevin? And no, there wasn't. Okay. If you listen to Claire read that lesson, you would get a different vibration. It's not good, it's not bad. We're all on the road home together. But I'm learning to be vigilant for my reactions to the frequencies around me, to the subtle energies around me. It's got nothing to do with Kevin or a Claire. Right? It's about keeping my finger on my nose What am I seeing here? What is affecting me? What is it that I think in the dream that is real and has reality to affect me and draw me out of my peace of mind one way or the other, good or bad, yin or yang? Your relationships and the situations you find yourself in will show you that, and that's how you learn to use the relationships as the tools, because relationships are learning tools. Right? And you have to be honest. You only have your own sense of self-honesty to go by. That is it. If you get triggered, admit it. And it's better if you can catch it in the moment rather than do it in retrospect and self-reflection. But so be it. The Holy Spirit's not limited by your inability or by your lack of learning at this stage. Okay? And that's the same. I'm just using Monique as a thing, but it's the same for everybody. Right? Same for everybody. All right, where are we at? Gay. Oh, Noah. Let's do Noah first. Then Gay, and then Colin.
Yes.
Noah, same thing as for you with Malik, okay? I want you to really try to connect with the material from the heart space, as if you're reading it to yourself at a much younger age. And I know you're only young, you're in your 20s or something, but read it to yourself at the age of 7, let's say. And you can imagine it slightly differently. Imagine if your church minister came by your street one day and he saw you playing ball and he read it to you. It doesn't have to be you reading to you. That might be a difficult link to make. But imagine that you're hearing this at the age, a very young age, and it's going to have an impact on you later in life. And you'll know later in life, you often have the ability to look back on interactions that you had with people at a young age and see how they change the course of your life, see how they change the way you see things and see other people. In much the same way, if you came across somebody at a very early age who was, let's say, a part of your family unit who presented a racist idea or a bigoted idea or some of those sorts of things, and you didn't know how to deal with it, you were so young, you didn't know whether to make an objective decision about what you were hearing, you would just accept it as verbatim because you're a child. And because you accept it as verbatim, it takes root in you. It's a seed. A thought is a seed. You don't realize how it affects you until later on. Right? But we don't look at time linearly, rented lips. We're looking at time in a vertical sense here. We're bringing the alpha and the omega together. Right? So when I say to you to read this to a version of yourself, let's say, that's 7 years old, I'm asking you to feel that version of yourself. Try and connect with that innocence that is looking to understand, with that sense of yourself that doesn't really know what's going on. And then read. Does that make sense? Good. There's an old wives' saying, I think it's an old wives' saying, it's not a tale, but a stitch in time saves 9. If you had the foresight of better education when you were young, you would know how to disseminate and to deal with extraneous thoughts that somewhere you knew weren't right, didn't align with your values. But without that education, you don't know how to do that. You don't know how to think objectively, critically. You don't realize that your mind is being polluted by the world to accept its ways. And the thing that I love about that is that there is no need for suffering. There is no need for it. Jesus isn't presenting this course and saying, well, you haven't suffered enough, so you can't give this course value. That's not what he says at all. That's usually how people come to the course. Their lives have become a mess. They hate the way the world is, etc., etc. But it doesn't mean that at a very young age you can't learn this material. Because it's in the moment that you learn to make the decision, which is why the idea of past trauma and all of that sort of stuff, it doesn't really come into it. It's one idea of trauma, separation from God. One solution to all trauma, I'm not separate from God, and that's here and now. All of that other stuff, trying to heal in the past so we can be free of it in the present, that may bring you to this point, but it's only ever going to bring you to this point where you realize that's not it. This is the moment you choose to either be free of it or not be free of it. It's not a process, it's an action. It's a decision. It's like you just say, fuck it. I'm doing this. I'm reaching out and I'm taking Jesus' hand. Fuck it. I'm going to leave everything else after that up to him. I'm just going to let him pull up that bucket and give me the water. All right, go ahead, read. Boot camp.
God did not create a meaningless world. How can a meaningless world exist if God did not create it? He is the source of all meaning, and everything that is real is in his mind. It is in my mind too, because he created it with me. Why should I continue to suffer from the effects of my own insane thoughts, when the perfection of creation is my home? Let me remember the power of my decision and recognize where I really abide.
Good. Tina.
You want me to read?
Yes, please. I want you to read as the protagonist. In through the nose, out through the top of the head. Let's have 3 breaths. You ready? Yes.
I don't want to. Oh. Look.
Be still. Close your eyes. Just feel it. Just sit with that. Just breathe. Look at Deb.
I can't.
Yes, you can. I want you to look at Deb. Look at Anna.
Dave, don't make me do this.
You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. You can turn off the whole Zoom and run away.
Okay. All right.
Good. When you're ready, read the lesson.
My thoughts. My thoughts are images. My thoughts are images. Which I have made. Oh my God.
Now you're wearing my shoes.
Oh. 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 Mm. Well, whatever I see reflects my thoughts. It is my thoughts which tell me where I am. Oh God. And what I am. The fact that I see. The fact that I see a world in which there is suffering and loss and death shows me that I am seeing only the representation of my insane thoughts. And am not allowing my real thoughts to cast their beneficent light on what I see.
Thank you.
Yet God's way is sure. The images I have made cannot prevail against him because it is not my will that they do so. My will is his. And I will place no other gods before him.
Thank you. You know, there was a poem I once read, I'm pretty sure it was a Sufi poem, probably by Rumi or Hafiz. And in it, there was a line that was something like, when you have cried enough tears to fill 1,000 oceans, you are still only a thimble in the ocean of God's love. Or you have filled only a thimble in the ocean of God's love. I used to go into session every day, Tina, and read this 20-minute book with a group of brothers every day before Ted would arrive and start the session. Every morning for 6 years. And every morning for 6 years, I would cry and laugh and undergo this horrendous process of purification, of feeling, of opening up to my feeling, to my heart. You know the heart you have, how big it is? You know how much you love and want to love? It's more than anyone in this Zoom room put together. You are all heart. You are all heart. You don't give a damn about anything else other than heart. And that's why I love you. You still got your process, you still got your healing, you still got all of that to do. But I love you. And if it wasn't for you, none of these other people would be here. None of these other brothers would have this portal. And they are grateful.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh. Oh. Oh.
You also are the woman at the well. You know, if I asked to Malik to do anything for you right now, he would say yes. Because he is powerful. His yes means yes, and I know it. He still has his learning. He still has his healing. But his yes is to the Lord, just as your yes is to the Lord. This is the company that you're in. We're all still babies. We're all still coming at this from our own angle. But we're all in service. And I want you to know that. I want you to know that I love you and that you are totally loved and valued. That's your headache. Don't listen to that other thing. You are beautiful and you are loved and your heart is as big as an ocean. If John was the beloved disciple of Jesus, you are the beloved disciple of me. I will do anything for you. Anything. But only you can accept atonement for yourself. Gay, can you read the next one, please?
I have no neutral thoughts. Neutral, neutral thoughts are impossible because all thoughts have power. They will either make a false world or lead me to the real one. But thoughts cannot be without effects. As the world I see arises from my thinking errors, so will the real world rise before my eyes as I let my errors be corrected. My thoughts cannot be neither true nor false. They must be one or the other. What I see shows me which they are.
Last two sentences, can you read them again?
My thoughts cannot be neither true nor false. They must be one or the other. What I see shows me which they are.
Close your eyes. What I see shows me which they are. I know you can feel that in your heart right now. Just let it be there. Focus on the feeling. It's just energy. Focus on the feeling. Good. That headband you're wearing, I want you to take it out of your head. Let your hair out. Shake it out a bit. That's it. Now breathe. Feel it in your heart. Good. Stay there. Feel it. It's happening. It's coming up. You've got so much energy coming up there. Just breathe with it. Don't let it go. Don't slide off. Stay there. Just focus. There it is. Good. Good. Just stay there in that energy. Just stay in that for a minute. Colin, can you read? Are you the last one, Colin? Has everyone had a go? Can you read the next two? Anna, did you have a go? Oh, you started. Yep. The Iceman cometh. I feel like Noah and Colin should get together. Yeah, like get on an aeroplane, go find each other and have an adventure together. Travel to a foreign country. I know, right? I know.
To Australia.
Coming to Australia. Yeah, cool. All right. I'll put the kettle on, as we say here. You guys be about that. That's really cool. That feels good. All right, Colin, read the next two. Tina's coming to Australia after she gets her baptism. Rosie asked me to baptise her the other day. That was interesting. So I said yes. So.
I see no neutral things.
Good.
What I see witnesses to what I think. If I did not think, I would not exist, because life is thought. Let me look on the world I see as the representation of my own state of mind.
Good. Read that again.
Let me look on the world I see as the representation of my own state of mind.
Good. Feel it. Feel it. Feel it. Don't wrestle. Don't wrestle with the feeling. Don't wrestle with the feeling. Just feel it. Receive that feeling. Don't wrestle with it. Just let it be there.
Okay.
Just acknowledge it. I'm feeling a certain way when I read this. Good. That's better. Now breathe. Take a breath. Good. Feels nice, doesn't it? It's nice to feel. When you're ready, keep reading.
I know that my state of mind can change. And so I also know the world I see can change as well.
Yes. Stay in it. Stay in it. Take a breath. Don't try to force it. This is not a negotiation within yourself, okay? This is not something you have to deserve. You are entitled to miracles, but purification is necessary first. And you know what purification is? It's a bitch. It's a real bitch. It's a capital B bitch. And that bitch you are going to wrestle with. Absolutely you are, because that's the way you've set yourself up. I'm only reminding you, don't wrestle, don't resist. Let the bitch have its way. Because Jesus has got your back. You don't have to work this out. You're working out your salvation through the Holy Spirit. That's where you're learning to go, to the heart space, out of the head and into the heart. When you read this, Colin, it becomes a boxing match in your mind. I know that. Take the gloves off. It's okay not to know how it all fits together. It's okay not to understand the big picture. Just be glad you're included. Be grateful you're included. You know, Jesus' own disciples, 3 years, every day they walk with him. They had no clue what he was talking about. And he said, you're not going to understand until the Holy Spirit comes upon you. You know what a weight off their shoulders that was? It's like, Jesus, why didn't you tell us that at the beginning of this 3-year ministry? Why didn't you tell us that we wouldn't understand until the Holy Spirit come upon us right at the beginning of all this following you around? Because they needed to put on the gloves. They needed to box. They needed to see the action of their own mind in relationship to the teachings he was giving them. They needed to see their resistance. You've seen your resistance. You've seen it in the ice water. That's why I told you to go into the ice, to swim in that freezing water again and again and again. You've seen it. You can take the gloves off now. It's time you had a shift. Does that sound okay to you?
Yep.
Good. Now, don't decide how that's going to look. I know you're ready for something else to occur. I can feel it. My whole being just knows it's time for Colin to have another shift. The temptation you're going to have with the shift when it shows up, which is going to show up as feeling, is to put the gloves back on. I want you to surrender to the bitch. You know your animal now. You know the nature of your animal. It's resistance. Okay? Let the animal devour you. Let the bitch win. Let the demons win. You stand in faith. That's it. That's all you got, faith. Defenselessness. Resist not evil. Jesus has got your back. Good. Deb, you got something to say? No. Really?
Let me think about that.
I was feeling that there. I was feeling that you did. But anyway, no.
No, I had a thought. It's just the usual wrestling with the body.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know whether you said it to me, but something popped up in my head. It said, fuck legs, you don't need legs.
Oh, you're still doing legs.
Yeah.
You know, eventually you're going to stop trying to fix things on your own terms and you're just going to let the miracle happen.
Thank you.
Right? You'll get sick and tired of your own ideas and your own attempts and your own failing. Because there is only the miracle. That's all there is. And you'll have to hear that again and again and again and again because there's a density, that's Tyna's teaching, there's a density in consciousness that prevents you from truly hearing the message.
Yep.
Jesus says you have ears and don't hear. Right? I struggled with cancer for many, many years. All those years after my diagnosis, I didn't have the course, not yet. I just had my testament and a bunch of other books, friends, spiritual ideas. None of it really was in any kind of order. My spiritual life was a mess, but there was bits and pieces of the puzzle everywhere. Enough to know that I had to do this in faith. It didn't mean that I'd stopped trying with other therapies. Homeopathy, relieve the itching, all sorts of stuff. If you've never had a subcutaneous itch, you don't even know the meaning of the word. It's just horrific. You will scratch your skin off your flesh and bones to get to it. Eventually you just give up. You surrender. You let it be the miracle that you're telling yourself that you want it to be. Dave, it's good to have you here. It's good to have the Asian connection, the Vietnam connection. Thank you. Thanks for showing up. You've been more proactive lately, I see, and including yourself into things, and I really appreciate that. I don't know whatever happened to those books I sent you. I don't know where they haven't turned up back here, so I'm guessing they're probably still somewhere.
That's true. They are somewhere. I don't know either, but they told me they were sending them to returning to sender.
All right. So, and the reason they sent them back was because I said there was 50 and there was 53.
Correct. That's what they told me. They wanted me to go start the process.
Good at math.
I know, and they're very strict here. Very. They don't like to let a lot of
I know
stuff in.
you're still a socialist country there, aren't you? Like very.
Yes, but
Yeah.
they're getting easier for me to work with, so I'm figuring it out.
All right, so
Thank you.
I'm going to send you some more books.
I would like that.
I'll send you a dozen, and I'll count them properly this time and make sure that there's a dozen.
You can start with one at a time. Send me one.
Yeah, no, I'll send you a bunch because it's easy.
Thank you.
Right. Can you resend me the details again? And
Sure.
What's today? Sunday. Today's Monday, so I might get a chance to do it today. But also, any of you guys that want to go on the networking list, like name, address, phone number, whatever, that would be cool. There will eventually be a little website where you'll be able to log in and you'll be able to see whoever else is on that list. So if you want to get in touch with someone, you're traveling, you want to go to another country, you'll have someone that is familiar to you that you can reach out to, etc. And you may never use it, but you may get a visit in a month or a year or whatever as well, and that'll be nice. So, and if you guys are coming to Australia, Colin and Noah, I want you guys to meet up first somewhere before you come here. Got it? If that idea takes root, get together first, have an adventure together first, and bond, and then come out here. Maybe you'll come out with Tyna when she comes. So she'd like the company. So, all right, I love you guys. That's it. Any questions? Monique, any questions?
No questions. I just want to say I've never been in a Course in Miracles group that's been this deep and emotional. So thank you.
Right, I know. I knew you were going to say that. I was actually going to say to you, I bet you've never been in a course group like this before.
Yes, you read my mind.
Right, exactly. There's only one. So Monique, if you want to hang out with Tyna, I mean, you guys can hang out for a minute after this and maybe read one of the workbook lessons in full, Tyna, and stuff. And if you have skills and want to be part of the Lovelies group that helps Tyna get little things done here and there, please put your hand up for her. She does need help. She can't do everything all to herself. I know some of you guys help out here and there and whatever, but we're always looking for a little bit more help. If you've got skills in IT, publishing, anything like that, she would be very grateful to have some help. At the moment, we've got the Africa project, which I haven't seen Brother Andre for a little while, but Tina's in touch with him.
Did you get my message about that?
I did. I haven't finished listening to your message, but anyway, we're there. We're just about ready to publish some books for Africa.
Send me money.
You have access to the money, don't you?
You did weird stuff to the website, to the browser. You did weird stuff, so.
PayPal.
I know, but you did weird thing to the browser. Now I'm like locked out. You locked me out like 3 days ago.
You set it up.
I set it up. You changed the password. You forgot the password and changed the browser. Boom. The browser.
PayPal.
I have to be. I know, but I have to. It's a thing. You did.
Oh yeah. The browser. Yeah. That was my Chinese guy. He was so good.
No, it was you.
But I got all my accounts back now. So
I know. So it's all cool.
He did.
We'll just work it out.
All right. Well, I'll send you.
I have the passwords. Are you putting them in that document that I sent you?
Yeah.
If you put them in that document, then I got them for you always, brother. It automatically comes to me. So if whenever you do it, just put it in that document. Boom, magic.
All right, I'll work out how to do that. I'll have a go at working that out. I don't want to fiddle in case I make it worse.
Oh,
but
I know.
otherwise, let me know how much it is to quote, and I'll just send you the money. Or just
gonna add.
Yeah. We'll work. I didn't realize that. Okay. Yeah. So the Africa thing's good. The books are going to be printed in Africa rather than printed and sent. and Brother Andre is going to be about that, distributing them in Africa, which will, I don't even know if there's a course. I mean, I know there's 200 countries in Africa, so, and I'm guessing variations in languages and whatever, but
There's course people
there is? Cool.
in Nigeria. Yeah, in Nigeria. Yeah.
That's where he is.
He's in Nigeria. Yeah. Nigeria is a big place, but I've run into people that are in Nigeria that are
Right,
studying
okay.
the course. Yep.
I would love to go to Nigeria. I think
Dude, look at this database that's going to happen. Holla at me. Seriously, give me 3 days. This database is going to be lit. It's going to be everything. 3 days.
You know how, do you ever see any of those YouTube videos with the African kids doing the dance and they're in the village? They got nothing. They're
Are you
busted
kidding
ass
me?
poor. Right. They are so poor. And you see how happy they are?
Yes.
They are totally the Christ expression. It's like I look at that and I'm like, oh, damn, you know?
Yes.
It's like, there's some energies that are just, whoo, you know, they're just out of this world. Yeah. I had the same. I can understand why Dave likes it in Vietnam, because I went to a school in Vietnam when I was there. We had our honeymoon there, and we went up to, I can't remember, I think it was in Sapa. We went to a little school, and it was like on the side of a freaking cliff. Like if you didn't watch out, you'd fall, you know, like it was like 1,000 feet drop where we were. And our guide, we hired a guide to take it. Yeah, it was in Sapa. It was the Hmong, up at the Hmong tribes there, and our guide took us through this little village, and he goes, oh, this is a school, and he went up ahead and had a chat to the school teacher, and we were allowed to attend the class for a minute, and those kids, oh my God, they exactly the same, just the energy that just beams out of them, just, you know, they got nothing, they got literally, you know, Dave would know, but like, oh, it's just beautiful, you know, so, but anyway, so that's good. What other projects we got on? We're reprinting the white edition through Amazon. That's going to take a few days to get that sorted. We may need a little bit of, we may need a bit of money for that too, but there's money in the account now. We've got nearly $2,000, I think, from people contributing, which is nice. Thank you, everybody. And the networking list. So,
yeah, 3 things.
So we've got 3 things really that we're working on. Tyna needs to outsource to the lovely group the YouTube channel a bit. So Deb, if you want to be on board with that, putting the links and whatever in there, Tyna will walk you through that and show you how that goes. That would be greatly appreciated and free her up. Anna, if you can do a East Coast kind of something with the whatever, because America's such a big place. You know, it's
Can
funny,
you hang
like,
out for a second? I can talk to you about it.
Yeah. You never know the impact that you have. You know, we're just a little Zoom group, but the amount of work that we're getting done, the amount of like feeding my sheep, you know, helping those little books to get out, disseminating and spreading these ideas. Like when Jesus says ideas are increased by sharing, it's really happening. Like this group, you people, Tyna especially as the hub for this whole thing, it's like it's happening. Little books are getting out, people are reading them and finding the course. I get messages every day on my YouTube channel saying, dude, I just found your channel, where have you been, you know, and all this sort of stuff, and people are so grateful. Finally, all the things that they've been looking at in their mind as an idea of what spiritual awakening is are coming to a point of focus. And it's because of the yes of all of you guys. It's because of that yes and that willingness to step up and say, hey, I'll help. And that's how this works. You know, we join together in this collaborative venture, and whatever comes out of it, it's always going to be for the greater good. So when I'm asking you guys, if you can help Tyna, if you feel that in your heart, great. If you don't, that's just as great. I mean, your journey is whatever it is, and however you get used, you get used. But You know, there's always a calling to step up and to be of greater assistance, because this is, to me anyway, this is all that matters. I don't have any other game going on here. So, all right, I love you guys. I'm taking
Dave,
my
I want to
dad
tell you
down.
something.
Oh, go on. No, go on.
I was scrolling on Facebook, scrolling, and all of a sudden I see this big thing that goes, "That Lotus chick is holding it down on YouTube." Like they don't even know who I was. It was just like, "That Lotus chick is holding it down," and I was like, "What? Like, what are they talking about?"
I don't even know what that means.
I'm
But
that
anyway,
Lotus chick. I'm that Lotus chick on YouTube.
what does that mean, holding down?
Holding it down, like she's fire. Like it was like fire emojis
Oh,
after
yeah,
like
you're on
holding it down.
fire. Yeah. You
No, like
are.
anyway, but it was just funny. Like they don't even know who I am, or but that Lotus chick just by my.
You know what?
Yeah.
I had someone telling me that you should be doing the videos because you're doing all the work and I'm just sort of riding on your coattails.
Yeah, we already established that you're the one that's awake.
Hey, we're all awake. Ready?
Hmm.
Breathe it in. Breathe it in. It's just a matter of staying focused. That's all it is. Just focus. All right, I love you guys. I've got stuff to do. I'm out of here.
Take care, Daddy.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Gay,
you.
very good. Stay in that energy for the next few days. I know you're feeling it, all right? But you've had that. Listen, I just want to give you this before we go. You've had that energy come up many times in that same association for years now, right? It's a big part of your identity. It's a big part of your association with yourself. And it's the same when I said to Colin, take off the boxing gloves with it. I want you to sit in it until it's done. I mean, that's what I say. Whether you do it or not, it doesn't really matter. It's up to you. But don't try. Remember, you do it with the Holy Spirit. Here I am, Lord. It's like Jesus drawing his circle in the desert. Okay. Same with Anna. Anna had a patch there where she was going through stuff for a couple of years. Right? Same energy. You're always presenting as the same way you feel about it. All right. All right. Peace.
I just do you know how to do Google Sheets? Do you know how to do that stuff? I'm gonna do it. I'm offering it up as help for the database because oh, she left. I was gonna talk to her. What I'm thinking is like a global John. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like a global, like he was saying, like but you can do it with Google Forms and Google Sheets. So there's like this hub, but there's Australia, there's America.